What's up, my Misfit family? It's your boy Dino. Just wanted to reach out to you guys real quick. Sorry, closing something on the computer. Wanted to reach out to you guys real quick, drop another video, and tell you guys all thank you so much. I hit 500 subscribers today, which I know in comparison to the big channels, it's not that much, but to me, amazing, dope, love it. 500 subscribers of new friends, new family that, I had no idea, who you guys were, or you guys had no idea who I was before, Josh allowed me to come on his channel and share my story. I didn't know it was going to reach so many people. I didn't know, he's going to get, I think he's got, on one of the videos, it's got like 115,000 views, which is insane to me. But honestly, having 500 subscribers from people all over the world, it's amazing. I love it. It's dope. Just wanted to send you guys a video, and telling you guys I apologize for the one that I dropped earlier. I know it was in my truck and the sound was kind of shitty, but I'm still trying to get this whole thing honed in. And I got some interviews that I've recorded, but I haven't uploaded them, or I can't even upload them because I haven't really figured out how to do that yet. So I'm kind of working with somebody that, I haven't started working with them. We just started talking today. But I have a feeling that, he'll give me a hand with, any questions I may have, and anything. Let me fix this real quick. Sorry. Anything I need answered, and try to get it taken care of to where I can upload these interviews because they're dope. Anything like over 15 minutes on YouTube is... It takes a long ass time to upload, and especially if you're trying to do it with high quality, like it's a nightmare, and I get frustrated. And trying to work a job, I work 50 to sometimes 60 hours a week driving right now. My situation is staying at my parents until me and mama move up north, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So I want to get these videos uploaded to you, and I'm sure the quality and the sound on this one's a whole lot better. And I want to tell you guys my story and where I came from. I'll start it off a little bit tonight. I'll try to keep this video kind of short just because I want to get it uploaded, and I know. Sorry, here I go, trying to figure this shit out. That's just jacking me all up. Son of a cop. My dad was LA County Sheriff, and I was born in Anaheim, with another brother. So I have, so we'll talk about that. I have one full brother, and so that brother is from my dad and my real mom. As you guys know, as you guys have heard in my other stories, and I'll get into it on here and get into more detail on the story, but my dad passed away from opiates, and he battled with addiction and struggled with it, and it was a battle for him his whole life. And I know he battled with alcoholism, but I have one brother from him and my real mom, who I'm staying with right now. And then my mom remarried to who my stepfather is, who's been in my life since, I was 6 years old. And I mean, this dude's been he's been a real one, I think the step parents of the world get super overlooked, and they're the unsung heroes, especially to come in to an older woman that's already got 2 boys and an ex-husband who's a cop. Takes a strong man, and he's treated us like we're his sons, no matter what, and him and my mom had another kid who's my youngest brother. He's my half brother, but And then I have a sister from my dad. My dad was remarried after my mom, to a stepmom number two, and they had a kid. And then my dad and her split, so I have a sister from my dad and my stepmom number two, we'll call her. And then when I was in high school, I think it was my junior year in high school. Was it my junior year? No, maybe it was my senior year. Junior. No, it was my junior year. I had a history teacher that was brand new at the high school. Blonde hair, beautiful. Everybody had a crush on her. And I think she was 28 years old at the time. So we had when we played football on homecoming, you could ask your favorite teacher to wear your away jersey. And so I knew all the guys were going to try to rush to ask her. And I had a friend that was her teacher's assistant, and they would work late together. So everybody was talking about they're going to get there early the next day to ask this particular teacher to wear their jersey. Well, I hit my friend up, and told her to ask her, and she said yes. So all my homies were pissed, they were like, how do you get her to wear your jersey? And I'm just like, don't worry about it. But anyway, so she wore my jersey to the game. And, one of the games that my dad, he didn't go to many, but he was at this game, and he saw her wearing his son's jersey. So of course, he throws the charm on and starts rapping out with her. And I'm coming home from school one day, and I hear music playing in the backyard. I walk out to the backyard, and here's my fucking history teacher sitting on the patio out by the pool in a bathing suit, in a bikini. And, there's Big Dean walking around with his short ass shorts on, smoking a cigar, thinking he's freaking Mag Daddy of the Year. And yeah, so that ended up being stepmom number three. And so, yeah, they ended up getting married. And so, of course, your dad's dating your teacher. So my senior year, they were dating, and I was like, shit, well, she's not supposed to be dating a student's dad anyway. So I don't got to go to class anymore. So I never went to her class again. And I just figured she was going to pass me. Well, on the last day of school, she calls me, and she's like, you realize you haven't been to one of my classes this year. You're getting a 0%. You need to come in and pick up some staples, and that way I can at least give you a D, so you pass. So that's what I did. I went in, and I think I picked up like 10 staples. I was there for 10 minutes, and if that, and she gave me a D, and I ended up passing. But yeah, I figured, you're dating my dad. I don't got to go to school anymore. Or I still had to go to school, but I don't got to go to your class anymore. Seemed to be not the case with her. She thought otherwise. But yeah, so that was stepmom number three. They moved down to Seal Beach. Things didn't work out with them, and my dad reconnected with another lady that he was, I don't know if they dated in high school or if they were just friends in high school, but he was, she lived out in St. George, Utah. So she was Mormon. She had a big Mormon family out there in Utah, and he was gonna leave Seal Beach and move out there with her. I don't know if he was running from something, or he just needed a change, wanted to get away, wanted a fresh start. He was battling the whole time with pills, but he came to me, and at the time, like, I was doing bad. I was holding together a bullshit job, but I was doing the whole prescription thing at the time, and he knew it. I would hook him up with pills. I was getting so many pills that I would, kick him down. And he asked me, if I wanted to get away, if I wanted to get out of town. And the whole way he bribed me was, she'll buy you a dirt bike. That's my shallow ass, So I went out there for a dirt bike, and I started working. She owned a painting company, and I was living with my dad. That we were living with her. She had a gang of money, family was cool, took us in with open arms, but hey, they're freaking hardcore Mormon, and here comes me and my dad. My dad ain't going to church. He might have gone to church once or twice, but he was trying to make me go to church with this family, and I would, I became friends with them, and we worked together, and they treated me like a brother, and that was stepmom number 4, and tried to get into that whole thing, but you could take the boy out Orange County, but man, that Orange County pill thing was still inbred in me, and so I started doing it out there in St. George, Utah. I started calling in scripts, dropping off scripts. At this time, I think I was calling them in. This was before I started doing the actual prescription pad. Oh, it couldn't have been. I think I was doing the pad, but out there I was calling them in, and it was working. But I was calling them in as the doctor back in LA. I'd just say, like, my patient was on vacation out there in St. George mountain biking, and got in a bike accident, broke his leg, and it worked. But I remember one time I was out there, and they had this guy that like lived in the back of their house that had like this little trailer, and he like worked for their company. He was like their black sheep of the family. He wasn't related to him, but like they just kept him out there in the trailer. I don't know what he did out there, but he was a hard ass worker, and he would just paint like 3 houses a day, 3 track houses a day inside, just hitting it, paint and paint. And I'd just go with him early as hell, open up all these paint buckets, put them on the next paint machine. Well, I had a hardcore pill problem at the time, so I was probably taking, at that time, I wasn't at my worst, but I was still probably taking 25 to 30 7.5-750s. We called them 750s. We just called them 750s. It was easier. It sounded better. Yeah, so I had a 25 to 30 a day pill habit at the time, and out in St. George, Utah, there's nobody selling them out there. So that's what I did, is I would call them into these pharmacies. Well, I didn't have a car at the time, so I would ride to work with homeboy in the truck, in the work truck, and we'd go work all day, and on lunch, I'd go outside, I'd sneak outside, and I'd call in this prescription, because I knew we had about another 3 or 4 hours until we were off. So I'd call it in, as soon as we'd get off work. I'd tell them, hey, can we stop by the grocery store? It was like a little, equivalent of like I don't know, what do we call it? Like a Vons, where they have a pharmacy inside. So I would have him drop me off at the grocery store. He'd drop me off in front, and he'd go park, and then I'd go in, and I wouldn't be shot. I don't know what I told him I was getting, but I'd go in, and I'd go in to pick up this prescription. Well, this one time I went in, and I went up to the counter, told him my name, and I don't know why I used my real name. I was such a bust, but I used my name, and I told the guy at the counter, hey, I'm here to pick up a prescription for Dean Hargrove. Dude's eyes kind of like lit up, and I was like, oh, okay, hold on one second. Didn't type anything into the computer like they normally do, like check, if it's ready or not. Walked right around the corner to the pharmacist. They said something to him. The pharmacist kind of looked up at me and saw me, and then like got back down and started acting like he was on the computer, and they said something to the dude, and then the dude started walking back over to me while I saw the pharmacist kind of pick up the phone. And the guy came back over to me and was like, yeah, it's almost ready. It's not quite ready yet. Can you wait like 10 to 15 minutes? And I was like, yeah, sure. I just got to grab a couple things. Cool. So I walked away and just skirted, like got out of Dodge. The homeboy was out in the truck, kind of sped walk out across the parking lot, got in the truck. He's like, did you find what you needed? And I was like, nah, they didn't have it there. I don't even remember what I was looking for. It was like chew or something. So we backed out. Homeboy decides to pull right down the aisle towards the grocery store and bust a left right in front of the grocery store. Well, at this point, I can see the dude at the counter and the pharmacist are outside at this point, like in the front, and they're like looking in the parking lot. And this dude's like turning, driving the truck. And I just was like, oh, and like laid down across the street. He had like a single cab truck, and I just laid down across the seat, like head almost on his lap. And he's like, I'm sure he was like tripping, like, what the fuck? Like, all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, I'm so tired, acting like I was taking a nap. Head almost on his lap. He probably thought I was trying to fucking go down on him or something. But I didn't want these fools to see me, and I could hear sirens coming. And we're pulling out of the parking lot, and I'm still laying down, so these dudes didn't see me. And we're pulling out of the parking lot, and I could hear these sirens, and I could hear, like, when, like, a cop car is going by you, and if you're ever in your house or in a neighborhood or you don't see the cop car, you can hear it, like, change gears, like, whoa, whoa. And I could hear that, I could hear the siren, and then I could hear the car changing gears. And so I knew these cops were, like, either pulling into the parking lot or like, behind us. I didn't know what my heart was just thumping. And we pulled out of the parking lot, and we started going, and, we didn't get lit up. And he was, like, kind of like, oh, I wonder what's going on back there. And I didn't have the heart to tell him, like, yeah, just keep driving, dude, because if you get pulled over, you're fucked, too. Nah, he wouldn't have been. He would have just, told the truth, and I would have told the truth. I ain't going to try to let somebody go down with me. But, yeah, I almost got popped that time. And then another time, of course, in St. George, Utah, they do like this, they had like this cruising night where they would go out to like the main strip, and all these Mormon kids would like cruise up and down the strip, stop at the gas stations, get out, get soda and snacks and all this stuff. And, nobody drank, there weren't too many people in that town that partied. And of course, I meet this chick that at the gas station, and she's all pierced up and tatted up, finds out I'm from California. So, we go back to her house, and this is the first time that, like, she told me she had pills. That's the only reason I went back there. She wasn't very good looking, and went back to her house, and she busted out a light bulb. And I didn't know, speed at this time. I never smoked speed. And she I'm sure it wasn't very hard, but talked me into, hitting that light bulb and smoking some speed. And I remember the first time I smoked meth, I got sick as a dog. I was outside throwing up, puking my brains out, called one of the kids that I was living with, had him come pick me up. Here comes this Mormon kid in his lifted ass truck. That chick thought I was crazy, because I said, oh, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette. And I just never came back, never even hooked up with the chick, like nothing. I was like done, speed and me do not agree. And it had this Mormon kid come pick me up, and I was stuck on stupid and like couldn't talk. Usually, you're a million miles a minute. Went back to their house, and I was probably up for 2 or 3 days, hurting, no pills at the time. Ended up stealing one of the kids' trucks and driving it back to Orange County to get pills. Didn't tell anybody I was bouncing. Didn't tell anybody where I was going. Just didn't sleep the whole time. Forget what that drive was. It was like 9 hours or something ridiculous. I just remember I drove all the way back into Orange County to pick up 15 750s and turn around, spend 10 minutes there, turn around and drive back to not get caught. Ended up getting caught anyways, but came back. Came pulling back up in the driveway, and they think that I just bounced for good. Didn't know where I went, wasn't answering cell phones, nothing. come pulling back up, just like nothing was wrong. And that was right before the demise of, my downfall on the prescription ring. That was almost right before. No, it was probably my dad. My dad lived probably another 2 years after that, but he ended up ODing in a hotel room out there in St. George, Utah. And I have a lot of guilt about, if I would have stuck around out there, or been there to hopefully, I don't know, take it. So what they said is, they found a prescription bottle. It had like, it was something for like 90, 80 milligram Oxycontins, and they found it the day that he had passed away, and the date on the prescription was the day before he passed away. So he had just picked it up. So I don't know if he sold some. I don't know. I don't know. I know that there were only like 3 left, and that was a hard one on my family. My grandfather had to go out there and identify the body, and I know my aunts went with him, and he didn't want anyone to go in with him at the time, is what I was told. And he wanted to go in there and spend that last moment with his son. And I know to this day it still affects my grandfather, and he doesn't like to talk about it. He doesn't, he doesn't like to deal with it. And me, I'm an open book. Like, it is what it is. I look at it as my dad doesn't have to struggle anymore. He doesn't have to fight that fight. He's hopefully found some peace, and I would much rather him be where he's at than still here hurting, causing destruction, breaking hearts, and hurting somebody else or himself, like that. I know that it was a shitty way for him to go, but I just really hope that he went peacefully, and it breaks my fucking heart that he died in that hotel room alone. And everybody deals with it on their own. I know my brother doesn't like to talk about it. I, on the other hand, like, I don't mind talking about it and getting it out there. I think that's my way of dealing with it. And my own therapy is, not sugarcoating it, but keeping it real. And I think that helps with my sobriety and helps remind me of the track I need to stay on, and, not ending up like my father, because I'm 42 years old now. My dad was 46 when he passed, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to let it get the best of me. Like, I'm not. I can't, and you guys help me. You guys are here for me. You guys honestly make this newfound love for, YouTube, and everybody loves the comeback, and this change, being on Josh's channel. And honestly, like, it helps. It helps a lot, and I appreciate all you guys. And I don't know, I just wanted to share a little bit with you, and I'll leave you with that tonight. Sunday, everybody have a safe week. Tomorrow's Monday. You got to get up, get to work, do your thing, and just wanted to drop a video for you guys. All right, have a good night. Later.